Hey guys, your average SD pool player here. Woo! Proof. And today our video will be a commentary video slash practice video. Also a progress report on kind of how I've been doing since uploading the channel. I'm very excited to do a video like this because I'm all about progression. I'm all about learning more about myself and the journey and the self-discovery. And yeah, I always think it's great to kind of take a pause a little bit and kind of, figure things out, as they are. Life changes a lot and there are a lot of factors that come in and influence, how we feel, how we think. So I think it's important to take a good break to just kind of figure it all out and kind of how you can reinvigorate or reincorporate, the love or the fun of the game in, back into the routine. So if you like videos like this, go ahead and press the like button below. It helps us kind of give us the instant feedback for videos like this or for the channel. And speaking of feedback, please leave a comment down below based off of what you did like about this video or kind of what kind of content you'd like to see in future videos on this channel. And speaking of channel, don't forget to subscribe so that you can get all videos that are published on Monday and Friday here on the channel. And with that being said, let's go play some pool. Look, there's a car now. So it's a garage, if you didn't know. Not a pool hall, so car. All right, so hey guys, we're gonna go ahead and watch me commentate some pool right now. Gonna be playing some racks of 9-ball. If you're interested in the shirt is actually from the most recent APA National Championships that were held in Las Vegas. So thank you, Junior, for the shirt. Appreciate it. It's a small, so if you guys are wondering what size I'm wearing. I wanted to just kind of really take this opportunity to, as we go through a little bit of commentary on this video today, and kind of talk about a lot of different things that I've been wanting to talk about here on the channel since we first started. So for me, the channel kind of started off as a way to just, oops, that just dropped, look at that, lucky me. The channel just started off as a way to kind of, help improve my own pool game, right? So I was very excited to kind of set up a camera, start filming, and really just kind of watch the progression of my pool as I played. I've been playing pool now for over 30 years. Ooh, bad scratch. And it's been a journey, to say the least, right? So I started off very young playing at my local recreation center on a big 9-foot table, gold crown. And I was the only one playing pool. No one else was playing pool. It was a great sport for me to just kind of, take on. And to be quite honest, it came quite naturally to me. So it was a very fun venture from there. Then my mom actually purchased a pool table via a silent auction during a liquidation sale at one of the local military bases here. And their bowling alleys were selling all of their huge 9-foot gold crown tables. And we got one, which is, weird, but also great because it's not every day pool tables kind of are available for sale. So when we were able to get one at a very reasonable and fair, low price. We got it, we put it in our covered patio in our backyard, and it barely fit. Little did we know from purchasing a pool table, or how naive we were, that you needed a specific amount of room dimensions in order for the table to fit, or in order for people to play on it properly. And yeah, lo and behold, we were playing pool without the best conditions and the best equipment, but we made it work. And that's kind of my humble beginnings at pool. Fast forward to today, I have this fun Olhausen 9-foot table that's been around since 1993. I was able to buy it off of Facebook Marketplace for a very, very reasonable price. A fantastic deal, which if you're looking for a deal, go to Facebook Marketplace. Fun, fun, fun. Yeah, that deal also included not just the table, but the Predator Arcos balls that you see on the table right now, as well as the light that's above the table, and a couple other accessories that just made the table ready to play as soon as it was installed here at the house. So yeah, from one 9-foot to my first 9-foot to probably my last 9-foot on this one. I love this table, it plays great. Yeah, and I also wanted to take this opportunity to kind of talk about just the progression of the YouTube from when it first started to kind of where we are at now, and kind of the differences and the changes in my game specifically. So in playing for over 30 years, I kind of stuck with one type of way of playing, which was one kind of stance, one kind of stroke, and it really helped secure and dial in those fundamentals that are kind of what exists in my game today. In the most recent of times, I've been able to kind of change that up a little bit and simplify my stroke and my game altogether. You'll notice in the progression of the videos from my first video to where even I'm at now, which has only been a little bit over a month, I've kind of adopted a little bit more of a natural stroke to my game. So that's 1, 2 strokes and execute. What that does for me in particular is that it essentially allows me to just only think about the shot within those 2 strokes and about nothing else. So everything leading up to the 2 practice strokes and shoot has all been just me thinking about the shot, contemplating how, where to hit the ball, and everything is all done before I ever get down at the table. So once I'm down at the table, even though I just missed this 3 different times, which is really crazy, even though when I'm down at the table, I'm not thinking about anything but executing everything that's just been in my head. So if you go back to the mental stack video, I kind of discuss how I go about thinking about multiple things at once, but kind of stacking them all to have one cohesive thought, so that when I go down to actually execute on the shot, I really don't think about anything but just the execution. So I'll have that video linked below in regards to mental stacking. Ooh, there are lights. Very much inspired by the Predator tables and how they have those like custom lights beneath it. And honestly, anything that's shiny or anything that kind of shimmers or has a little bit of a brightness to it, I'm all about 100%. So yeah, so that's kind of the new discussion that I kind of wanted to have in regards to my game, is that I've been playing for 30 years, as I've said multiple times already, and I thought the way I was playing was going to be set. That's it. I'm not playing any way else. I have a good feel of the table. But then when I really broke down kind of the core aspects of my game, I really wanted to focus a lot on the more mental side of things, which meant that for someone like me who likes to think a lot about everything in general, things can get pretty crazy. up here, thoughts wise. So how can I manage that in a way where I'm a little bit more consistent and I don't let all of the thoughts kind of get in the way from actually executing physically the shots I need to do? So I adapted that two-stroke method, which is something that's pretty automatic to me now. That's a fairly common physical aspect that a lot of people kind of take on as well too, having a set number of practice strokes and then executing forward. I used to have a very prominent pause at the back of my stroke, like a snooker player would, or namely Alison Fisher would for her stroke. But there's a slight pause to the back end of my stroke, but I kind of adopted a more fluid stroke, which is kind of a little bit reminiscent of like a Mika Immonen or something like that, because I just liked how smooth it all looked. And so I broke down the pause at the end of my stroke and really converted over to just stroking through nice. Cheska Centeno is also somebody I really look up to in regards to kind of how the game is played nowadays, which is so much more aggressive, really creative, and yeah. And plus, it also allows me to be a little bit more uninhibited with the kind of strokes or English that I use on the ball, because I just feel like now I'm able to just execute freely versus just a little bit more robotic, I don't know, mechanical. So with that being said, I think an old dog can learn new tricks when it comes to pool, but as with anything, it's important to really start to look into yourself first and do a lot of self-reflection on kind of what kind of changes you're looking to make into your game before kind of just doing it out of nowhere and expecting for that change to just happen. I mean, it's not like I just started doing this and was thinking, oh, I'm going to change it right away. It took a lot of trial and error. It took a lot of reverting back to the old way I played. And a lot of that really stems down to refining those fundamentals physically. I had already kind of been doing the right thing for myself leading up to where I am now. But then how do we refine it to a way where it's a little bit more consistent, it's a little bit more effective, and essentially gets me the wins at the end of it all. Like, I just recently did a tournament yesterday, or a tournament-like competition yesterday, and it's crazy the amount of ways that pressure can change your game physically, right? But what's not talked about, I think, a lot is how the competitive nature of things can change your game drastically mentally. How do you just kind of not get distracted by the competitive moment? And how are you able to just play the game that you're naturally inclined to play when you're at the table? I think it's important to really kind of take into consideration that competitive play is going to be so random that you have to have such a strong mental game, mental fortitude to just kind of look beyond it and kind of play through it, but not get lost in that moment as well. Because you want to stay focused, you want to stay shot for shot with your opponent and with yourself whenever you're at the table in a competitive setting. So the age-old question is, how do you do it relaxed, and how do you do it so that it doesn't impede or kind of take over your decision making at the table? So my take on that is, if you're able to just rely on your fundamentals and really secure your foundation of your game and the basics of what makes your game successful, the idea of just executing just should come naturally. right? You don't want to force anything. You don't want to feel like you're playing beyond what you're meant to play. You're supposed to play your game with whatever the table gives you. And that's dependent on whatever your prowess is as a player. But understanding that that potential is all up to you is super important. And holding yourself accountable to that is just a key to success when it comes to playing pool. Because when you're down over a shot and you have to make a shot, it is up to you to make that shot. No one else can make that shot for you. So do you have the capacity to be able to make shots under pressure, make shots that you're supposed to, make the positions that you're required to make in order to make a successful run out? Like, I could tell from watching this video right now of me shooting, I'm just kind of not focused, and I'm really just kind of not there, right? So a lot of this is also based off your pacing and being able to just play through a rack in a way where your energy is equal from shot to shot to shot. And I know that's a lot more difficult and definitely easier said than done, but it's just kind of what you have to do. You have 9 balls on the table, and you have to give each shot equal respect and equal energy and focus, no matter what. Because the moment you do, like there, then you just kind of release that energy and that focus, and it almost kind of amounts to a little bit more stress, because you're kind of like, oh, I had an easy shot and I missed it, or I had a shot that was makeable in my repertoire and I wasn't successful at it. It's a lot. It's mentally a lot. So you owe it to yourself to be able to keep your focus on each and every shot and making the shots that you know that you deserve to make. And so, which leads us to probably our next point of improvement in my game, since kind of putting up videos of me playing, is my demeanor. I don't really like to lose. Give me someone who does, and let me talk to them and see how I can potentially rationalize it. So I don't really like to lose, but when I'm upset at my play, I'm more focused, or at least better now, at reverting or resetting myself so that I've kind of give myself the best opportunity the next time I get back at the table. I'd like to just say that if you are feeling upset or anything, save it for after the match. You may not be able to rewatch a match that you just played or be able to just kind of assess from there, but what you can take into consideration is how you're feeling. You don't want to feel bad, and you have to be honest with yourself and tell yourself, why were you feeling bad? What were you feeling bad about? And kind of how did you get to that point where that feeling is what constitutes your state of mind at that point in time. The reality sets in that everyone does miss, and if you think of things practically in that sense, you should be able to, for the most part, learn how to forgive yourself much better, learn how to forget things easier, and learn how to move on. Once again, easier said than done, but when you think of your main goal of any competitive match, which is to win, whether it's a certain amount of games or a certain amount of points, whatever the case may be, your thought process needs to go back into that bottom line goal. I was about to say I was shooting really good until that shot. So, yeah, I think it's super normal and natural to feel upset or to feel as if like, ooh, I shouldn't have done that. But how do we turn that negative into a positive? Well, I'd like to think that if I made a mistake, let's just say we're playing 8-ball and I made the cue ball by accident in another pocket while I'm on the 8, or I made the 8 in another pocket that I was supposed to, and I gave that game away as a loss of game. That is, there's two paths there. I could easily go the negative path and be like, oh my gosh, I'm one game behind and it was my fault and I should have won that game and I didn't. All healthy train of thoughts, because it's what happened. It's the reality of what happened. It's what you need to confront and be accountable for. And you can continue to kind of live in that misery throughout the match. But my recommendation is to not do that and potentially understand that what you've just encountered is a lapse of focus, and that you should learn from it in that immediate instance and understand that, oh, I was in a state of lack of focus. This is my big sign or big flag to let me know that I need to get back into this match and recognize that I'm capable of making mistakes like that, but that I shouldn't be making mistakes like that. It's important to really kind of find that recovery point, because it happens a lot more often than we think. And we really need to learn to be more forgiving of ourselves, because the game should be fun. The game should be thought-provoking. It should be something that we enjoy doing and we enjoy kind of playing and executing. Because if you practice hard, you should put yourself in that mindset of like, cool, I can afford to make mistakes, because it's kind of natural to do so. But I shouldn't let myself down and let those mistakes define who I am as a player, or in that moment, how I should be playing. If I know I can't make these shots, I should reset and refocus and tell myself, how did I make this shot multiple times before in practice or in previous matches? And how can I do it in this set after I feel like I've been bombing this whole set, or whatever the case may be? So having a more optimistic attitude and way of thinking of things is crucial and integral in kind of successful and consistent play. Getting over it is kind of a big thing as well too. I used to kind of hold on to things a lot, but now the way I approach things is that with the tools that I have in playing pool, I should be able to approach the situation, if I approached it 100% with all the energy and focus, fairly successfully. Like that 8-ball shot I just made, I probably would never have thought I could make that, like even 2 months ago. But I just stepped up knowing that I could, and I did. So that's what's important. Woo, we made that 9, and we'll pause that video right there. And I appreciate you guys tuning in. Sorry this was kind of a little bit of a random conversation, but I hope there was some takeaways from our discussion today, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Peace out. If you guys like that video, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe for more videos like you just watched. And we'll see you in the next one.